This video might seem like it comes from a bit of a random place. Like, what is the motivation for talking about this topic? Well, there isn't really one. Like I say, and I've said it before many times, my channel, the one that you're watching, is intended to focus on what I see as both economic, like financial, and also social issues. That's what I want to cover. And I also do want to talk about stuff like the businesses that I run, but mainly nowadays I do that on Patreon. By the way, if you want to learn how you can make money online, the Patreon link is going to be available down below. Anyway, let's get on to today's topic, because like I say, it might seem like a weird one. Where has the moral in TV, film, and basically all sorts of media gone? Just the other day, I don't know why I've got this weird, colour on my face. I think it's to do with the way the light's bouncing, but I look purple and my teeth look so yellow. This is not a good angle. Anyway, the other day I was watching I can't remember, some kids' TV show that happened to either be on the TV. I can't remember what the context was. I was also, a few days ago, because it's not really the sort of music that I like, listening to some modern, fairly new rap music. And by the way, in both departments, good films are still being made, good music's still being made. That's true, right? But in both accounts, I saw one thing. In the rap, I can't remember whose rap it was, the lyrics were awful. And I'm not trying to sound like some 90-year-old here, like, oh, you kids are listening to some... No, it really was quite bad. And what I mean by that is, everything that you'd want for a good life is the opposite of the message that this is saying. It's telling you to go out there and do this, and this is cool. It's just all bad stuff. And like I say, not necessarily bad stuff being promoted in the TV show that I watch for kids, but no real meaning. I understand how TV has been for a long time, and music, because fortunately for me, I've been brought up on a lot of different styles and a lot of different time periods, right? I've got parents, I've got grandparents, and I remember my mum always showed me stuff that she used to watch. And even in my day, which was, let's say, the 2000s to the 2010s, I always remember there was something about the message. There was always a message. Whether it's, I don't know, one of the characters does something that proves he's a good person. Something, you get the point, right? So I'm not here to say this is a new phenomenon. But it's one that we're seeing more and more. And I'm starting to think, right, where is the morals in society as a whole going? Of course, we can have media that points to change, and we should. We can have media that's perhaps outside of what the popular message is. We can even have media that, in my opinion, promotes bad stuff if it's part of the niche. But like I say, it seems that whether it's due to cheap, lazy production, which I think is a big part of the issue with TV and movies, because companies want to rinse and repeat the same dry old stories, or whether it's music that the lyrics are horrible. We're getting to a point where this seems to be extremely common. People like myself can acknowledge this, and I'm listening to this song and I'm like, okay, it's like the beat flows, right? I'm not going to lie, the words flow, it's a good tune for that, but it's got about 500 million views, and every single line of it is something absolutely terrible. The point is this: 500 million views, I'm not saying that was the figures, but it was something big, like big. Popular musician, I can't remember which one. As this becomes more and more popular, it's getting in front of the eyes of more and more people. I think we all grew up listening to some sort of rap music or watching 18 plus films that our parents probably wouldn't approve of, right? That's just being a child. But even they were to a point. Now, the bad stuff seems to be so much worse, and I think everyone, therefore, is being desensitized to it. Because like I say, we'll take games like Grand Theft Auto, right? Who didn't play Grand Theft Auto as a kid? If you grew up in my generation, you almost certainly did. But Grand Theft Auto wasn't 18. By the time I became 18, I didn't want to play Grand Theft Auto. I was an adult, right? I didn't have a car yet, but I had a life. I don't want to play Grand Theft Auto at age 18. So we all know at 18, certain 18 categories are not only watched or consumed by 18-year-olds. And naturally, when we talk about music, media, and TV, it's going to influence what these people think. We're growing up in a culture now, it seems to be, that these things are applauded, seen as actually pretty good. Like I say, the music bigging it up, the TV shows not teaching us stuff. What are they there for? It speaks to two things, I think. I think the first one is a corporatization of both, well, all of these markets, right? The media markets. Why think of an enticing storyline where we can make number 6 of this movie and it'll probably still sell? And like I'm saying, right, I've not seen a good film in years. They do still come out. I've seen recent films like the last 5-6 years that have been good. But they're fewer and far between as time goes on. Everything that seems to come out nowadays, not everything, but a lot of stuff, a lot of the mainstream stuff, right? Almost all mainstream stuff that comes out nowadays isn't great in terms of quality, in terms of what it tries to portray. And I'm like, why is this a thing? Why is this the thing? It's not giving us a good message. When we are being told all this stuff in our head constantly, through media channels that we all consume, it's gonna probably desensitize a lot of people to it. And what the benefit of that is, I do not know. Is it some big conspiracy with big business? I don't know anything about that, and I'm not one to get into that rabbit hole of things. I just want to look at the blatant facts, right? Let's not connect dots. That's for you guys to do, right? The intention of these videos is to only create the initial thought process, and then you guys think on that and let me know what you think in the comments and stuff like that. But the point is, they don't portray what they once would have, where in the end of the film, you know, there might have been the main protagonist who loses his family and then comes back together, or the song might have, I don't know, it depends how far back you want to go, doesn't it? But, you know, I don't hear any actual love songs in the charts anymore. Should they be? I don't know. People are going to like what people are going to like, and that is going to depend on the time that we live in, right? But what I'm saying is, what do those sorts of songs demonstrate? They demonstrate an image of cohesion, right? An image of doing things perhaps the moral way. And I know they're not all like that, and we can go back any point in time where we find bad things, bad people, whatever. It's not a new thing. I think why a lot of people think it is, and I discussed this in my Why People Think Society's Falling Apart video, but the point is this, right? We get access to seeing this now more and more. But one thing that I think we are seeing for the first time in the last, maybe since about the 80s, maybe I'm wrong, maybe my older people will correct me, a lot of the stuff in the main image promotes a lifestyle that's not positive to feeling happy, it is not positive to being productive, and it isn't going to get you anywhere. I've spoken briefly about it, maybe I will more in the future, in future videos, whatever, I don't know. But I've been a student for the last couple of years, right? I had my party days, clubbing days, you know, people like, oh, chase all the girls, blah, blah, blah. And it's like these are the missions, I guess, of all of these popular things. But it's like, that's not a fulfilling life, right? You might, and again, I'm not going to act like that's not something that I did. I had about a year, maybe 2 max, where I did all those sorts of things that you do in your student days and your young days. By year 3, I was sick of it. That's not me saying I'm better or worse than anybody else, but it's me saying one thing, right? This is what's told as the normal thing. And like I say, most people are not that switched on. And that's not me insulting, I just find that to be the case. They're not gonna take the time to think about, okay, why is this being told to be the good thing, or why am I being shown this? People see a message, they see it's what makes them fit in, and they go with it. It's not beneficial to most people. I can't tell people what to do, neither would I want to. It's your choice to make your own good and bad decisions. I just need to think for myself, though. By taking out the messages, the positive messages in society, are we doing that because it's cheaper for production? Or is it something worse? And why are we going this way, right? I'm not sure how long, or if it's even possible, to turn back in a lot of these fields. Whether we need to or not is also a different subject. I mean, like I say, there's still people like myself, and many people that I know, who will be sat there maybe in a club, whatever, and they'll be bobbing their head to this song, and then they just sit there like, I don't agree with any of this sort of stuff. So I'm not saying that all people are becoming this way, but when it is the popular message being pushed, it's going to create a certain image in a lot of people's heads, isn't it? Because that's a cool thing, supposedly. And that's going to be reflected in the way people think. Like I say, music, think about certain genres of music, like, say, drill. that does not give a positive message at all. What's the culture that we see emerge around that? Gangs, violence, stuff like that. It's just an example, and like I say, people can do what they want, and so they should. It's not my place to judge, and it's not my want to judge either. But, you know, as individuals, let's think about what we're looking at, what we're buying, and what's happening in our world. I don't know if there's a solution to it apart from just wake up and be an individual, think for yourself. I don't know what I can say. I don't really want to necessarily give a conclusion here as to what the answer is, because I don't know. All I want to say for this one is this. On this topic, I wanted to share my opinions. I'm not sure if you guys will agree or not. It's a trend that I've seen, and it is affecting, from what I see, the people my age, and the worst part is younger. It's affecting the way that they act, the way they think, the things that they think are normal, because it's what's being portrayed, right? We're not being taught the right lessons, and we are being shown the wrong ones, not even if we're not being taught them. Where that manifests itself, how that manifests itself, it's up for you guys to think about. But I just wanted to discuss the topic here quickly in this video. Thank you for watching it, I appreciate it. If you can share, please do, and I hope I'll see you soon. Goodbye.